Hi, everyone. So today I'm going to be going over computational linguistics, which is something that we went over very briefly in our January meeting before we started working on the linguistics Olympiads, which take a majority of our time. So yeah, welcome back to the linguistics group. In this meeting, we just went over computational linguistics and practice linguistics Olympiad problems, which are always super fun. So, computational linguistics. It's a branch in linguistics that uses computer science to analyze language and speech. So programs and algorithms are really helpful in solving linguistic problems efficiently. What I mean is a lot of time linguists face problems in which they need a large set of data to analyze and understand before they can see a pattern, because language is such a broad thing. Being able to observe patterns in many different areas within one language is really helpful, but it's really hard to do that manually. So computer algorithms and computer programs can help linguists sort of sort through the really large amount of data that they have to use. And even we use it every day without our knowledge with technology. So NLP, which is natural language processing, speech recognition, machine translation, and information retrieval, which is something that I was talking about, was that, like, especially in large pieces of text, finding the relevant information for the research you're doing, or the relevant information to find a certain pattern. So that's actually like one part of computational linguistics, and there's many different parts, like the other ones like NLP, speech recognition, and machine translation. There's also text mining, which is finding the most important information in terms that, like, you define it. Then there's syntax and grammar parsings, there's computational semantics, and then there's dialogue systems. So these are just like very few examples of computational linguistics applications in our world, but as you can see, there's already a lot. Yeah, so what are its applications? So it's this branches can often be used to help machines understand people better, and as well for people to understand machines better, because we communicate in language, and whereas machines communicate in code, computational linguistics is kind of the thing that merges the two together, which can be really useful. So computational linguists are experienced in natural language processing, which is a really big thing now. Also ASR, which is automatic speech recognition, also text to speech. Or speech to text, also, like if you use voice typing on Google Docs. Also strong math skills, because it is there's a lot of coding involved. And some well-known examples, we kind of already went over this, but are like speech processing, like Siri and Alexa, and also AI like ChatGPT, which is a really big thing now, really needs to understand what we're asking them. Like AI and NLP really need to be able to communicate with the user very easily, because that's what makes them so useful for us. And then machine translation, like Google Translate. I mean, I feel like now we kind of take it for granted, in that if I was to travel to South America like 50 years ago, and I didn't really know any Spanish and they didn't know any English, we couldn't communicate in English to English. And without Google Translate, it would make traveling very hard. So this is definitely a very useful tool. And I found this overview. Just sleep for a second. Um, Here from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and I just wanted to go through it just a little bit to give you guys a better idea on what computational linguistics is and how it can be used. So first, like, we can just go through the introduction, like what are the goals of computational linguistics? So it's the formulation of grammatical and semantic frameworks for categorizing languages in ways enabling computationally tractable implementations of syntax and semantic analysis. So that's really a mouthful, but it's kind of summarizing what I just said, much more detailed, obviously, but really cool. And it's like finding techniques that learn principles and exploit both the structural and distributional properties of language. So language is actually often, you'll find that there's very common patterns that are repeating. So computational linguistics really helps you understand what those patterns are. For example, when considering semantic change, which is how languages change over time, um, looking through the statistics and the frequency of semantic change can be very helpful. I saw a research paper just the other day on how they proposed two rules to semantic change. One of the rules was that, if I remember correctly, one of the rules was that words that have multiple meanings, um, are more susceptible to semantic change, which makes sense, right? If you have multiple meanings, the second meaning might transform to become another word more easily. And then another rule was that there was actually a relationship between the frequency of the word and the how it like if that word changed in meaning. And there was like a mathematical relationship with which I found really cool. So linguistics, I feel like a lot of times people think that it's just like manual labor, like manually you're solving something in your head, but computers can be really useful in helping you answer those questions. And here it kind of just goes through some more questions, and then there's many different methods. So definitely you'd probably need to be experienced in coding, and NLP is a big thing in the computer science field right now. So yeah, this will definitely be linked in the comments. So if you guys want more help or you guys want to research more on your own, I would definitely check this article out. Okay. And then there's also this book that I found called Computational Linguistics: An Introduction by Ralph Grishman. Here's the book on Amazon, and I just copied the synopsis. So what this author is doing is he's showing various approaches to problems in syntax analysis, semantic analysis, text analysis, and natural language generations, and giving his own personal opinions on what might be most effective. And I think that's after he describes what computational linguistics is and how it can be applied, which I thought was really cool as well. Yeah, so thank you for joining. This meeting was in December, which is why it says next meeting in January, but let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to answer them. Also, make sure to join our Discord. Bye.